Footwear with performance enhancements, no bounce boost allowed. If you've ever seen those viral sneakers that promise to add inches to your vertical, don't expect them on a WNBA court. The league has a firm stance. No footwear can artificially enhance athletic performance beyond natural cushioning and league-approved tech. This isn't just a fashion rule, it's a fairness rule. Footwear can dramatically influence how a player accelerates, jumps, lands, and changes direction. That's why every shoe worn in a WNBA game must either come from an approved list of models or be submitted to the league for clearance. In recent years, tech-heavy sneakers like energy return soles, spring-loaded insoles, and experimental grip designs have gained traction in training circles. Some players, especially rookies with sponsorships, have tried to wear them during warm-ups, but once a shoe crosses into giving players non-biomechanical advantages, it's benched. There are even limits on cleat-style grip textures or customized soles that could give players more leverage on hardwood. Anything that adds bounce, glide, or superior propulsion beyond normal basketball performance is forbidden. A few players have also gotten creative with inserts, adding height boosters or pressure-reducing layers. These too are closely monitored. If the insert changes impact, force, or foot position in a meaningful way, they're ruled out. The WNBA isn't trying to stifle innovation, but it does insist that every point, every rebound, and every block come from skill, not a sole. In this league, your rise isn't measured by your sneakers, it's measured by your grind. By the way, we're just starting out on YouTube and want to be the go-to spot for WNBA facts and knowledge. So, subscribe to stay up to date, and let's reach our first goal of 1,000 subscribers this month. Will you be one of the OGs? Subscribe right now. Let's move on with the video. Performance-enhancing drugs, the zero-tolerance line. In a league built on hustle and grit, there's no room for shortcuts, especially chemical ones. The WNBA follows a strict anti-doping protocol aligned with the World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, and bans a wide range of substances, from anabolic steroids to stimulants and masking agents. What's on the list? Just about anything that boosts muscle growth, stamina, or pain tolerance unnaturally. That includes EPOs, HGH, testosterone, synthetic stimulants, and even marijuana during competition windows, though policies around cannabis have softened for off-season use in recent years. The testing isn't just for show. Players can be tested in-season and off-season, randomly and without notice. If caught, they face fines, suspensions, and reputation damage that can derail a career, especially in a league as tight-knit and media-aware as the WNBA. There have been very few confirmed doping scandals in league history, a fact the WNBA proudly cites. But behind the scenes, enforcement is vigilant. Supplements are monitored, training programs are reviewed, and anything that could potentially mask or enhance performance gets red flagged. Some international players have also faced challenges when transitioning to the WNBA, as products approved overseas may violate local policies here. Ignorance isn't a defense. If a product isn't certified by the league or third-party cleared, it's better left off the regimen. Ultimately, the WNBA's stance is about more than just fairness. It's about protecting the integrity of the athletes, keeping competition clean, and honoring the work it takes to reach the top. In this league, you can't buy greatness. You have to earn it. Disruptive fan behavior. When courtside gets cut off. Fans are part of the game. They bring the energy, the chants, the noise. But in the WNBA, that energy comes with boundaries. The fan code of conduct is strict, and disruptive behavior can lead to immediate ejection or long-term bans from arenas. What counts as disruptive? Verbal abuse, racist or sexist comments, obscene gestures, or harassing players and staff. All of it is grounds for removal. And in the modern era, even fans with big followings aren't immune. Take 2023, when YouTuber Gideon was banned from WNBA and NBA events after interfering with the game's flow from the sidelines. His prank-style content didn't amuse the league. Cameras, microphones, and crowd reactions are fun, until they cross the line into distraction or disrespect. In 2025, the league doubled down on this policy after racial slurs were allegedly hurled at Angel Reese during a road game. Although no slur was verified, the incident triggered an investigation and reminded everyone there's zero tolerance for hate speech in WNBA arenas. Even seemingly minor disruptions like flashing lights, throwing objects, or standing repeatedly in the first rows are grounds for a warning or removal. The league instructs security teams to act fast and decisively. Once you've crossed that line, you're not coming back anytime soon. This isn't just about protecting players. It's about protecting the game. Every athlete deserves to compete without fear of harassment, and every fan deserves to watch a game without chaos. In the WNBA, respect isn't optional, it's enforced. Acrylic nails when style meets safety. The WNBA is full of bold personalities, iconic looks, and players who treat style like an extension of their game. But one trend that's run into a hard boundary is long acrylic nails. Not because of image, but because of safety. There's no official written rule saying no acrylics, but during pre-game inspections, refs and league staff are known to quietly flag excessively long or sharp nails as a potential hazard. Why? Because basketball is a contact sport. Hands fly, bodies crash, and players swipe at the ball, or each other, constantly. One misjudged rebound, one desperate steal, and suddenly someone's got a scratched cornea or a slashed wrist. Players have been asked to trim nails mid-season, and while the league doesn't name names, there have been quiet sideline corrections. It's a rare instance where personal expression hits a physical boundary. Some stars still pull off glam looks, with short acrylics or soft gel tips that pass the test. But anything beyond a certain length or sharpness won't make it onto the court. And the rule isn't just about opponents. Self-injury is also a concern. Imagine a hard dribble where a nail bends or tears at the base. That's game over and possibly season-ending. WNBA culture has always celebrated individuality, but it does so with a clear understanding. Style should never jeopardize performance or player safety. Whether you're running the court or running the show, you've got to keep it clean and keep it safe. Unauthorized headbands. The Ninja ban, quietly enforced. In the late 2010s, Ninja-style headbands took over the NBA. They were flashy, tied at the back, and flared out like warrior gear. Players loved them. Fans thought they looked cool. But both leagues quickly took a stance, not approved. While the WNBA never issued an official memo banning Ninja headbands, teams began quietly phasing them out. Why? The same reasons the NBA gave: concerns about safety, uniformity, and branding. The strings could flap into another player's face, obscure jersey numbers, or cause slight tugs during play. What emerged was a soft ban. Teams internally discouraged their players from wearing anything other than approved elastic headbands. That means solid color, no flaps, no knots, and no wild improvisation. One example came in 2021 when a rookie showed up to training camp with a modified version of a ninja wrap. Coaches shut it down before media day, citing league apparel standards. No fines, no headlines, just a quiet reminder, this isn't a fashion show. Headgear in the WNBA is treated with the same seriousness as jerseys and sneakers. Players can't wear different styles just to stand out. If a team chooses white bands, everyone wears white. If a player forgets hers, they either get a match or go without. The message is clear: look sharp, but look the same. The league wants individuality expressed through play, not accessories. So, while you can rock a headband, it better be basic. This isn't Mortal Kombat. It's the jewelry and dangerous accessories, no bling on the floor. Jewelry and contact sports don't mix. And the WNBA makes sure they never do. From hoop earrings to thick gold chains, nose rings, and even ankle bracelets, it's all off limits once the warm-up ends. The reasoning is straightforward: safety, distraction, and damage. In a game where arms flail and bodies clash, any loose or sharp accessory becomes a potential weapon. A necklace could get yanked, an earring could rip, a ring could cause a cut, and a stylish player trying to guard with a nose stud, it's just not worth the risk. The league enforces this strictly. Pre-game inspections require players to remove all visible jewelry. Refs are trained to scan for earrings tucked under sweatbands or chains hidden beneath jerseys. If spotted during a game, it's an automatic bench until fixed. Some players have tried clever workarounds: clear retainers for piercings, silicone rings, or taping over studs. But even those can get denied if league officials feel there's still risk involved. Interestingly, this rule also applies to religious jewelry and medical alert items, though exceptions can be made if fully covered and pre-approved. Protective accessories like face masks, knee braces, or even padded sleeves must meet safety standards and often require documentation. Just because it looks cool or matches your outfit doesn't mean it gets a pass. In a league full of swagger and signature styles, the no jewelry rule might feel strict, but it protects everyone on the court. When the buzzer sounds, the only things that should shine are the players' skills. Tech on the sidelines. No phones, no earpieces, no exceptions. Modern athletes live with tech, film sessions on tablets, performance trackers in training, and team group chats that run 24/7. But when it comes to the WNBA sidelines, there's a firm rule. No personal tech allowed during games. That means no smartphones, no smartwatches, no earpieces, and no live video capture from the bench. Even coaching staff must follow strict protocols, with only league-approved tablets for drawing plays or checking replays. Why the crackdown? It's about integrity. Tech devices open the door to live scouting, unauthorized communication, or distractions. Imagine a bench coach DMing someone in the stands or a player glancing at live social media reactions mid-game. It turns the court into chaos. This came to a head in 2022, when a bench player was warned for checking her phone during the fourth quarter of a blowout. While it didn't result in a fine, it sparked internal memos across the league, reminding teams that even downtime is off-limits for personal tech. There's also the issue of recording. With increasing scrutiny from fans and influencers, the WNBA wants to avoid footage being captured and leaked from within huddles or post-game talks. Coaches have even requested extra security to prevent hidden tech near locker rooms. The league's focus is simple. During games, your mind belongs to the team. No texts, no scrolls, no tweets. Want to check your mentions? Win first, then you've earned it. Fighting and on-court altercations, the Spark Shock legacy. Fighting isn't just banned in the WNBA. It's considered a stain on the league's culture. And no moment proved that more than the infamous 2008 brawl between the Los Angeles Sparks and Detroit Shock, one of the wildest scenes in women's basketball history. It started with a hard foul, then a shove, then fists. Before long, benches cleared and punches were flying, with Lisa Leslie caught in the center of it all. The league came down hard. 11 players were fined, 4 suspended, and a clear message was sent. This will not happen again. Since then, the WNBA has instituted some of the strictest anti-fighting rules in professional basketball. Any punch or swing, even if it misses, results in automatic ejection. Post-game reviews often lead to suspensions, even if refs miss it live. The reason goes beyond just optics. The WNBA prides itself on professionalism, teamwork, and being a role model league. It doesn't want to emulate the fight culture that sometimes leaks into men's sports. When things get physical, the expectation is to reset, not retaliate. Recent altercations like the verbal dust-up between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark in 2025 have reignited conversations around emotion and intensity. But there's a line, and everyone knows where it is. Off-court rivalries? Sure. Trash talk? Bring it. But throw a punch, and you're not just out of the game, you might be out of the spotlight altogether. In-game activism without approval. The 2016 turning point. The WNBA has long been at the forefront of athlete activism. But in 2016, things came to a head when several teams wore unauthorized Black Lives Matter warm-up shirts, and the league fined them. Players from the New York Liberty, Indiana Fever, and Phoenix Mercury chose to speak out after a string of police shootings. Their shirts featured messages like, "Change starts with us," and the names of victims. It was powerful. It was personal. But it also violated league uniform policies. Fines were handed down. But instead of backing off, the players doubled down, refusing to speak about basketball in post-game interviews and demanding a voice. The story exploded nationally. Eventually, the league rescinded the fines and the event became a defining moment in sports activism. Since then, the WNBA has evolved. Players are now given space and approval windows to express themselves, from pre-game tributes to court decals and social media campaigns. But the framework is still tight. You can't just slap on a slogan mid-season or post a protest from the team bench. Everything must go through league review. That includes warm-up gear, visible tattoos in rare cases, and even how players frame social causes during press conferences. The WNBA celebrates voices, but controls the platform. In 2016, players redefined what a protest could look like. Today, they're still fighting, just with a mic in one hand and a rule book in the other. Custom uniform alterations. No DIY style in the W. Uniforms in the WNBA aren't just fabric. They're a statement, a brand, a contract with sponsors, fans, and the league itself, which is why any personal alteration to official jerseys, shorts, or warm-ups is banned. That means no cut sleeves, no shortened shorts, no tied-up hems, and absolutely no unauthorized patches or embroidery. Even if a player just wants a looser fit or to add personal flair, if it changes the look or function of the uniform, it's a no-go. This rule became especially relevant as fashion trends from streetwear bled into pro sports. Players began rolling their waistbands, cropping their sleeves, or customizing necklines. Some even wore jerseys backwards in practice, but try that on game day and you're headed to the locker room. The league's biggest concern is consistency. Fans, cameras, and broadcasters rely on visual clarity. Sponsors pay for specific placements. A jersey cropped too short might hide a logo. A tied-up top might suggest favoritism toward a certain look or team. There's also a safety aspect. Tighter or altered fits can restrict movement or tear during play. Looser fits may snag on defenders, and if everyone did their own thing, referees would have a nightmare enforcing fouls and contact. That's not to say the WNBA doesn't allow expression. Pre-approved jerseys for campaigns like Her Time to Play or Pride Night are celebrated, but they're coordinated, not improvised. In the W, your look isn't just personal, it's professional. You can bring your personality to the court, but don't try to redesign it on your own. No on-court props. Keep the celebration simple. WNBA players know how to celebrate. Chest bumps, mean mugs, flexes, and arms raised to the heavens. But what they can't do is bring props onto the court during a game or celebration. That's banned, period. Whether it's pulling a mask out of a sock, tossing fake cash after a clutch shot, or throwing on a cape post dunk, yes, someone tried it, the league has made one thing clear: keep it clean, keep it on brand. The rule mirrors the NBA's stance, which cracked down on in-game props after players began using them in increasingly elaborate celebrations. The WNBA followed suit, especially as viral culture and TikTok moments began bleeding into real-time sports. Props are seen as distractions, potential hazards, and, depending on the message, possible violations of brand partnerships or league decorum. A player pulling out a toy crown to mock a rival? Funny online, but problematic in a live game setting where tensions already run high. Even in pre-game intros or post-win celebrations, players must get approval for any planned gesture involving non-uniform items. That includes signs, face paint, extra wardrobe pieces, or symbolic items. The league does allow creativity within bounds. Choreographed team dances, group poses, and expressive celebrations are all part of the show. But the moment something not part of your uniform enters the floor, expect a fine or a warning. In a league that's constantly balancing swagger with structure, props are one step too far. You can break ankles, you can break records, but bring a crown? That'll break the rules. Unauthorized tattoos and branding ink isn't always invisible. Tattoos are a fixture of basketball culture, a canvas for expression, family, and identity. But in the WNBA, not all ink is welcome. Any visible tattoo that displays offensive content, unapproved corporate logos, or political symbols can result in league discipline. While the WNBA doesn't publicly vet tattoos, it reserves the right to request coverage if a tattoo is deemed inappropriate for broadcast or brand alignment. This could include nudity, profanity, hate symbols, or even subtle nods to controversial causes. The rule became especially real in the early 2010s when a player debuted a neck tattoo that mimicked a well-known gang symbol. The league quietly asked her to cover it with tape or makeup, and the issue disappeared, but the precedent stuck. The policy also applies to branded tattoos. If a player has a visible logo for a company that isn't an official WNBA partner, especially during national broadcasts, it's flagged. That includes sneaker brands, personal sponsors, or even clothing lines. Unless it's approved, it must be covered. In recent years, with the rise of NIL deals and off-court entrepreneurship, players have tried to blur the lines, promoting personal brands via subtle ink. But the WNBA draws a hard line. If it's on your body and visible during play, it's subject to regulation. It's not about censorship, it's about consistency. The league wants the spotlight on the game, not on unfiltered messaging. Inking your story is fine, but if that story doesn't align with the league's standards, you'll be telling it in sleeves. Foreign substances, grip aids that never made it. In a sport where milliseconds and muscle memory define success, it might seem logical for players to look for any edge, even something as small as improving grip. But in the WNBA, foreign substances like sticky sprays, grip powders, or any topical that alters the feel of the ball are strictly banned. Why? Because basketball is a game of touch. The ball must behave the same way for everyone. If one player has stickier palms and more control because of some high-friction product, it throws off the balance. What looks like a minor enhancement is actually a competitive shift. The rule isn't just about fairness, it's about safety. When one player has extreme grip, the ball becomes harder to strip or block cleanly, which can lead to awkward fouls, sprains, or hand injuries. Imagine guarding someone whose hands basically glue to the ball. There's no way to contest them without a swipe turning dangerous. Though no high-profile player has been caught publicly violating this rule in the WNBA, enforcement is strict. Equipment managers and referees perform pre-game inspections of hands, jerseys, and even sideline towels. Anything that leaves a residue or gives a texture advantage is confiscated immediately. Even natural products like pine tar, chalk blends, or essential oil rubs have been flagged if they alter gameplay. Some overseas leagues have allowed grip enhancers, especially for post players, but not here. In short, if it's not sweat, it shouldn't be on your hands. In the WNBA, the ball must feel the same to everyone, because what separates legends isn't a product. It's pure, earned skill. Unapproved equipment, safety first, always. At first glance, the WNBA feels gear-friendly. You'll see everything from padded sleeves to custom masks. But don't be fooled. Equipment that isn't pre-approved, no matter how flashy or practical, will be blocked from game use. This rule exists for two key reasons: safety and fairness. If a player wants to wear a protective mask, elbow brace, or chest pad, they must submit documentation. That includes medical necessity, dimensions, and confirmation it doesn't enhance performance beyond protection. Even something as subtle as an elbow sleeve with extra grip texture has been denied in the past. The league's stance is clear. No item should give a player an artificial edge, whether that's rebounding, dribbling, or making contact. Players have tried pushing the envelope. In 2014, a player attempted to wear a custom mask with side vents and tinted lenses. It was deemed too intimidating and potentially distracting to opponents. It never made it past warm-ups. Even gloves have been pitched, especially by players recovering from hand injuries. But because they dramatically affect ball control, they've remained off-limits. Every piece of gear must be approved by league operations well in advance. If it's not on the list, it's not on the court. The rule isn't just about gear either. It's about visibility and uniformity. The WNBA doesn't want rogue tech creeping into the game. No smart wearables, no illegal compression tech, no exoskeleton padding hidden beneath jerseys. If a player needs protection, they'll get it. But they'll get it within the bounds of league protocol, or not at all. This is basketball, not cosplay. And no piece of equipment should ever be the reason someone wins a game. Uniform violations, the line between expression and discipline. In 2016, the Indiana Fever, Phoenix Mercury, and New York Liberty made history. Not for their wins, but for their warm-up shirts. Featuring slogans supporting Black Lives Matter and honoring police shooting victims, the shirts broke league rules on non-sanctioned apparel. The reaction was swift. The WNBA fined each team. Players protested the fines, did press conferences in solidarity, and refused to speak about basketball in post-game interviews. Public support surged. Eventually, the WNBA relented, rescinding the fines and walking back its uniform policy in the face of mounting pressure. But the message had already been sent. Uniforms are strictly regulated. Any deviation, no matter how noble, must be cleared in advance. To this day, players can't just wear custom slogans, symbolic bands, or even alternate colorways unless they go through proper approval channels. It's not about censorship. It's about brand consistency and keeping focus on the league. At least that's the official line. And yet, the 2016 moment remains iconic. It showed that the uniform wasn't just clothing. It was a canvas. It was also a battleground. While the WNBA has loosened its grip since then, allowing pre-approved activism moments and slogans, players know they're still under scrutiny. One wrong logo, one unapproved message, and you could face fines or worse. In a league that prides itself on progressive stances, uniform policy remains a tightrope, balancing expression, equality, and branding. But if there's one thing 2016 proved, it's that WNBA players aren't afraid to push back, even when the rules say no.